I am M. Abdul Mannan Sheikh, Assistant Teacher English, Rajbir Govt High School. Dear learners, I welcome you from Rajbir Govt High School online classes. Dear learners, due to pandemic outbreak of coronavirus called COVID-19, you are supposed to stay at home to remain safe. On the other hand, your school remains closed for an uncertain time. In this situation, our school authority has organized an online class so that you can be benefited. Okay, dear learners, let us go to our today's topics. Before going to discussing our topic, I would like to know some answers from you. Dear learners, every day we exchange our feelings with different kind of peoples using our language, especially different kind of sentences. Dear learners, can you tell me how many sentences do we use every day to express our feelings? Every day we express our feelings using 8 kind of English sentences. So, how many sentences are there in English? There are 8 kind of sentences in English. 5 of them are according to meaning and 3 are according to structure. According to meaning, English sentences are divided into 5 classes. They are assertive, interrogative, imperative, optative and exclamatory. On the other hand, according to structure, the English sentences are divided into 3 classes. They are simple sentence, complex sentence and compound sentence. Dear learners, so we can say every day we express our feelings, express our body language using these 8 kind of sentences. Suppose if someone is dumb, if he cannot speak, he expresses his feelings using his body language, such as in this way. So this is called body language. So every day we express our feelings using these 8 kind of English sentences. Now today I am going to discuss about 3 kind of sentences. They are called structural sentences. That means according to structure. Structural sentences. In structural sentences, there are three sentences. They are: number one, simple sentence. Number one, simple sentence. What is simple sentence? In different books, you can see the definition of simple sentence, that one subject and one finite verb is a simple sentence. I will give you another definition, that is called a single sentence with a finite verb. A single sentence with a main verb. This is called a simple sentence. So, dear learners, only one sentence, that is called a single sentence with one finite verb or principal verb. The principal verb may be to be verb or to have verb. Suppose I am a student. This is a sentence. In this sentence, there is a verb am. Am is a to be verb here. To be verb, am is, are, was, were. Another example, he has a cat. This is a sentence. In this sentence, the main verb is has. This is called to have verb. To have verb is have, has, had. Another example, you can go to school. In this sentence, the main verb is go. Can is auxiliary verb. So we can say that a sentence cannot be imagined, or not a sentence can be imagined without main verb or principal verb. So, dear learners, you will always remember that in the simple sentence there must be a principal verb, main verb or finite verb. So, a simple sentence is a single sentence. Number two, compound sentence. Compound sentence. Dear learners, compound sentence. Compound sentence is formed with coordinating conjunction. When a coordinating conjunction is added at the middle of two simple sentences, this is called compound sentence. We have learned about simple sentence. When two simple sentence is linked, when two simple sentence is linked with a coordinating conjunction, this is called a compound sentence. Coordinating conjunctions are and, but, or, yet, therefore, etc. So we can say two simple sentences are added with a coordinating conjunction, this is called compound sentence. For an example, I am a student. I am a student. This is a simple sentence. No doubt, dear learners, I am a student. This is a simple sentence, no doubt. And I can go to school. This is the example of a compound sentence. The another sentence is a simple sentence. Dear learners, look at the board and see. There are two simple sentences here, no doubt. This is a simple sentence and this is a simple sentence. The two simple sentences have been linked or joined or added with a conjunction and. So this is called a compound sentence. In compound sentence there are two sentences. There are two simple sentences. Another example, he works hard but cannot succeed. He works hard, cannot succeed. He works hard is a simple sentence. Cannot succeed is also another simple sentence. These two simple sentences have been added with a coordinating conjunction but. So this is a compound sentence. Dear learners, I think all of you have understood about simple sentence and compound sentence. If you understand about simple sentence, a simple sentence is a single sentence with a principal verb, and compound sentence, two simple sentences are joined with a coordinating conjunctions and it is called compound sentence. Now another sentence is complex sentence. Number 3, complex sentence. Dear learners, in the complex sentence we can see one principal clause and one or more subordinate clause. So when subordinating conjunction is used in a complex sentence, it is called complex sentence. In the complex sentence we can see two clauses, one is principal clause and another is subordinate clause. When two clauses are connected When two clauses are connected with subordinating conjunctions, they are called complex sentence. When two clauses are linked or connected or joined or added with a subordinating conjunction, they are called complex sentence. So we should know what is clause. Clause is a group of words that has a finite verb but acts as an element of a sentence. So clause is a group of words that has a verb but works or acts as an element of a sentence. For an example, we can say the man who came here is a teacher. The man who came here is a teacher. This is the example of a complex sentence. In this complex sentence, we can see that there are two clauses. One is principal clause and another is subordinate clause. Dear learners, so we should know about principal clause and subordinate clause. How can we know? How can we understand about principal clause and subordinate clause? Dear learners, the sentence which can give its meaning clearly, or this sentence which can express its meaning clearly is called principal clause. Or you can say the sentence which does not depend on another sentence to express its meaning is principal clause. Suppose you are a member of a family. There are 4 members in your family: your father, your mother, your brother, your sisters. So there are 4 members in your family. In this family members, who are principal clause? Dear learners, in your family, when your parents are alive, can you do any work in your own willingness? No, you cannot do anything without the permission of your parents. So, your parents are principal clause. Your parents can do anything without discussing with you. Your parents can do anything, any work without discussing with you, without permission from you. So your parents are principal clause. Suppose in your classroom, I am taking your class. In this classroom, there are at least 60 students and one teacher. In this classroom, who is the principal clause? The another name of principal clause is independent clause. Another name of principal clause is independent clause. In the classroom, your teacher is your principal clause. You cannot do anything in the classroom without the permission of your teacher. So, your teacher is a principal clause, no doubt. Dear learners, so in complex sentence, you can easily find out the principal clause when the sentence does not depend on another sentence. It is called principal clause. If you don't know how to find out principal and subordinate clause, you will never be able to change the sentence from simple to complex, simple to compound, complex, etc. Vice versa. In this sentence, who is principal clause? The man is a teacher. The man is a teacher is a principal clause here, because the man is a teacher. This sentence does not depend on who came here. The man is a teacher. This sentence can give its meaning independently, freely, without depending on other sentence. So, you can easily understand the principal clause. On the other hand, subordinate clause, the sentence which cannot express its meaning without depending on other sentence is called subordinate clause. Suppose in the classroom your subordinate clause, you cannot do any work without permission of your teacher. Okay, dear learners, in this sentence, who came here? 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 In this sentence, who came here? The sentence cannot give its meaning. Another example, if you come, I will go. In this sentence, we can see two sentences. In every complex and compound sentence, we see two sentences or more. In this sentence, we can see two sentences. One of them is principal clause and another is subordinate clause. Which sentence can give meaning clearly? I will go. I will go. I will go. This sentence does not depend to express its meaning. This sentence does not depend on another sentence to express its meaning. So this is principal clause. On the other hand, we can see another sentence. If you come. If you come. If you come. This sentence cannot give its meaning clearly. So, it is supposed that this sentence is dependent on another sentence to express its meaning. So this is called subordinate clause. Dear learners, subordinate clause is also divided into three clauses. They are noun clause, adjective clause and adverbial clause. I will discuss about these three types of clauses in my next class. Now, now I will give you a short rules how to change the sentences from simple to complex and compound. This structure is on kind of marriage ceremony. They are changed among themselves. They cannot take another words without these given words. Write down firstly but, though, although, in spite of, despite. But, though, although, in spite of, despite. Or unless, if not, without, plus verb plus ing, or in case of your failure to. And if and is used as a conditional, if by plus verb plus ing, and if by plus verb plus ing, and cause, as, since, because, and when and gives the meaning of some causes. In complex sentence we have to use as, since, because. In simple sentence, because of, or, on account of, or owing to, owing to. Dear learners, you have to change according to these boxes. And time, when, verb plus ing, when two sentences are same, verb plus ing will be used. When two subjects are same, verb plus ing will be used. And when two subjects are different, at the time of will be used. When two subjects will be different, at the time of will be used. To plus verb, infinitive plus verb, so that, and. To, so that, and. In the next class, I will discuss in detail. Dear students, no more today. See you again in my next class, and I will discuss in details about these three kinds of sentences. Thank you. Stay home, save life. Thank you, everybody.